What's up, Dashers? We have a fantastic final for you tonight. My name is Genocide, and I'm joined by a bombshell of a commentary team. We have with us, let's just get all of my buttons ready over here. We have with us, starting off the top, Captain Kickass. How are you doing, sir? I think you've got your audio on mute still there, Captain Kickass. Well, I think while we are waiting for him, we will jump over to Laggy. Laggy, are you there? How are you doing, sir? Well, for some of you here in Australia that might not have played with Laggy, he's definitely one of those players that's supposed to be feared and loved at the same time. Make sure that you're on his team. And we have joining us as well, Firehorse. Now, Firehorse is monitoring the game from his sniper's perch, but we'd like to know what the view is like from up there, Firehorse. So Captain Kickass has still got a little bit of audio problems, but he'll be joining us really soon. So we'll introduce our team song. We've got TBT, or Team BT, the B team, versus Trouble. Now, a little bit of history on Trouble. They actually played Chaos in Season 1's final, where Trouble actually, I think they beat Chaos in Launchpad, and then subsequently lost in the Control Point and Waterway thereafter. So I wonder if they're going to be taking the trophy home this time, or if they're going to be second place for 2 seasons in a row. Looking at the team, we've got on TBT side, we've got Rembrandt as captain, Damaju, Person, Justin, Marisol, and Pavilbo. In Trouble, we've got Mr. Soap as captain, followed by Beulah, Nugget, Muley, and 2 Dots. And Laggy, I mean, you've played with a couple of the Aussie guys for some time now, and some of these names may be quite familiar with you. Did both these teams impress you, or what's your thoughts so far? Yep, I agree. Captain, I see you're back in the Discord. Is your mic working now? See it. Can hear you okay. How are you doing, Captain? A little bit of an echo on your side, but otherwise, yeah. Have you got it coming through speakers, perhaps? That's weird, but otherwise you're okay? You're excited about tonight's match? Yep. So before we move on, what I'm going to do is we did a captain's interview just before the match had started, just to hear a little bit about what's going on with them. So I'm going to get that rolling. Well, that was definitely informative. So this. Hang on now, I pushed the wrong button. Sorry, everybody. So it does seem like we've got a little bit of an audio issue. Firewalls, can you just confirm that? Seems like it's going on all channels. Stream from within Discord has sound from other parties, YouTube not so much. Why is YouTube blocking off our audio and Discord is not? Our YouTube friends, any suggestions? No? Okay, well, looks like we have also lost connection to the Hyperdash server. Everything's just falling apart each. Hang on, I'm just getting right back inside of the server here real quick. I love it when it all comes together. Sorry. Can you guys still not hear us? Can you hear anyone else? Not getting anybody saying otherwise. Test. Okay, we are running short on time, so what we're going to do is we would have spoken about strats and all the rest, but we are going to jump straight into the game because what we don't want to do is get these guys waiting for us for too long. There's no one around, so we're getting this swap. We don't want to do this. We will sort these audio out. Yeah, somebody that's watching on YouTube. Firewalls, are you able to identify any problems?
I would be looking towards OBS. I think we can certainly hear your voice, no game sounds, and I don't think my audio is coming through either.
It's weird, because it shows that everything's coming through on the audio mixer.
I think that was why I was talking just now. I think the stream also picked it up too, I believe.
So does that mean that the stream can now hear us?
I'm watching the stream right now. We'll see in a sec.
My voice came through, so I think you've got some of it working.
Some of it working? Can you hear the game in the YouTube stream?
Yeah, the game can be heard.
Okay. What we'll do is, we had that hype video playing, but probably didn't hear the audio, so mid-match, what we'll do is we'll have it playing again, for those that didn't have any audio.
It looks like, according to chat, it looks like it's all of a sudden working now. I just heard myself on the stream. So yeah, hello.
I haven't really changed anything. I've been looking for a reason why it's not working, but I haven't been able to change it. Okay, and we are going. And looks like
Alright, so anyway, yeah, we already got this going, don't we?
that over there. That over there. Alright, so we'll payload up first. We've got TBT on red team. Damage you're taking Mr. Surf out really early. Early predictions, Laggy, what's your thinking?
Like I said earlier, well, stream didn't hear me, but I haven't a clue. These things are pretty dang equal, and looking at the lineups from earlier, honestly, I can see this being anyone's game.
And yourself, Kick-Ass? Any early predictions? Looks like we've lost Captain Kick-Ass. Get some music going.
Look at you.
Dude, are you just playing with them or something? Now hold, I'm pretty sure we can hit you.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
Cart's moving pretty well. 4 minutes 52 and we're at the first band. Justin on rockets.
They just pushed right past that checkpoint just now. Not checkpoint, but choke point, my bad.
Yeah, they're on to their next choke point now. This U-bend. 2 dots kind of hanging back a little bit, it seems. 2 people on carts. They're screaming through. They're absolutely screaming through.
Blue is showing some distinct aggression.
Dots looking like it's going a little bit behind. We're going to disrupt it.
It is looking pretty rough for red team because blue already has a close to that checkpoint and they still have 3 minutes and a half to go. Usually this would be the part where red team would start locking it down, but with the pressure that blue team is applying, who knows?
Yeah, at this rate, it looks like they're definitely going to be making sure. That cart is pretty much 1 person on 2 people. They've made checkpoint in 5 minutes.
Very impressive push by blue, but of course, let's just mention that a lot of these one-side checkpoints like these won't really reflect too much on the actual result of the match itself. A lot of things can happen in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's true.
Looks like Trouble's playing a little bit more scattered on their end. Didn't see a few people on that cart for a little bit. Looks like they're putting a little bit more priority on being more aggressive outside of the cart. Of course, they're pushing it now. What really does matter about it is having consistent numbers on that cart.
They seem to have constantly 2 people on the cart, so that seems to definitely help them out. That cart's almost stupid.
At this rate, they'll be getting along just fine.
Doing some disrupting.
Marisol coming behind. Doing a pretty good job as well.
Alright, looks like the payload is just about to hit that part. We'd like to call this place the Rafters, and this is probably one of the most infamous spots to hold the payload at. It could be here for several minutes on end. We'll see. Because a position like this can be easily taken advantage of if the other team is like coordinated.
Yeah.
You're on fire with 22 kills.
Damage is sitting at 23 kills, 9 deaths now, 24 kills.
Wow.
Yeah. Bueller's on blue team sitting at 18, sharing that with Mr. Soap. Also at 18, 15 deaths. Justin's sitting on with rockets.
Of course, when you look at KD, it doesn't really reflect much on the action performance of the match as a whole. It's not always about who's outgunning the others. It's always almost about teamwork and the amount of coordination put in. And we're seeing a lot of that from Trouble. Someone just went flying right over. Did you see that?
One on carts, 5 minutes left to go. Try to see if we can find who they're on rockets there.
Very interesting. Notice that Mr. Soap and Bueller were just going off, causing havoc in the spawn, especially towards that rocket spawn area, while the rest of their team wants to push up a little bit. Having a bit of a more scattered approach can easily divert attention off the actual objective, which is an incredibly potent move on their end. Like you've been seeing from blue team so far.
We got Justin back on the rockets.
Some people watching right now might see this match as a bit one-sided, but honestly, with how Red Team has been competing themselves, they have been pretty damn good so far. Having Justin staying back with rockets while the rest are just putting down their guards up is a pretty good move on their end. Honestly, I haven't been seeing too many mistakes from either side so far. It's either that I'm just not that observant, or both teams are doing a pretty damn good job.
Oh, right in the face.
Oh, I thought they had it in. Oh, so close.
They've got it.
4 minutes and 16.
Oh, 16.
Good work from blue team.
Switching sides.
It's a great effort, great push. They're gonna struggle
Yeah,
to.
Prepare to
Really
start.
did hit Red Team really damn hard with that amount of aggression. We'll see if Team T will be able to retaliate.
So, sorry, Firewatch, you've been keeping track of the stats and making sure bird's eye view of what's going on. Captain Kickass, you've been very, very
Match
quiet. I don't know
starts
if you're back
in
yet.
3, 2, 1, go. First elimination.
So far, good work from TBT, pushing the cart consistently, getting those people off. Damage, you demonstrating a lot of caution and coordination by hopping off that cart every time someone tries to assault you. This could just be a demonstration of just being cautious around the cart or really good communication. This just proves my statement earlier.
Nice.
Yeah, this right here proves my statement from earlier. Of course, last round, Trouble pushed really badly, but honestly, the same can apply to TBT.
TBT's actually in front. Trouble was 4:30 to get to the second corner there.
Seeing some really good results from Blue Team over here. This area right here in particular can be easily taken advantage of by the red team because of that tiny slide rail that it has above. Really famous spot to hold down the card at. Fantastic work with the charge shots particular. Holding down that single spot in health room is really powerful because you have several spots to fire away from. And then a lot of places where you can just go rush in. Looks like he's getting straight to that sight line right after killing a few people. There he goes. Taking up by person, good work.
Jury and rockets.
So Trouble's doing some good work on those explosives. It's up to the rest of the team whether or not that the work of the explosives is going to be potent, however. Because Trouble can easily respond by hitting them. I mean, TBT can easily respond to rockets by just simply prioritizing them.
They're now 30 seconds behind.
You can see that TBT is hopping on that cart and pushing it little by little. Just that tiny amount of distance covered of that person's life on the cart before it's ended by a rocket, it still counts in the end. Looks like Mega just caught one with someone heading up behind too. Yeah, having to take care of a disruptor that's heading back and causing havoc in the back of your base is going to take a bit of communication because you want to keep tabs on each other. See how everything's going on one end of the map and the other. So, Blue Team did a good move by setting out a disruptor and riling them up a little bit because now they're actually pushing it. Blue Team is going to have to demonstrate some form of good coordination because it looks like they're trickling a little bit. But yeah, you can see that Mr. Soap is more leaning towards holding down one of those areas near the ledges in that rail as well, keeping a good eye on all the spots that you can be pushing from. Diligent work from Red Team as well because they always want to make sure that they have someone on that cart because they're getting decently close to the payload now. A lot can happen in roughly 2 minutes, and it looks like they're aware of that.
Okay.
Very, very good defense.
Pretty good work. Then there's this Druid just firing away at the rocket.
Yeah. Hell or high water, that rocket will, that payload will blow up.
Don't need to worry about Blue Team pushing the cart when the entire payload is just exploded in rockets, you know?
Not supposed to break the payload.
Just gotta strap some C4 on that thing. Okay, now that they got rid of the rockets, blue team has an insane advantage now.
Very close.
1 minute remaining.
Red team is in a bit of a scramble over here, because it is going to take a bit of time to get those rockets back in commission. And then again, there's still a little bit of remnants from
Oh,
attack.
God.
Wow, I'm impressed. You noticed how the entire defense seemed to collapse as soon as they got rid of Druid.
Oh. Oh,
They're actually really close right now. Let's see if they can pull it off.
yeah, there he is.
They got the checkpoint. Alright, big difference is by 3 minutes rough. TBT has no other choice but to put all boards barred on that payload.
Huh?
To be realistic here, TBT is in a really rough spot because they have 6 minutes rough to make it to the goal. And with how Trouble has been conducting themselves in terms of defense, their chances are slim. But anything can happen. Because honestly, a lot of these kinds of situations have been seen in the Dash League actually, and they have turned out in ways that we were not able to foresee. Alright, looks like blue team is pushing to that rafter area. They don't want to stay there. They don't want the cart to be in that area in particular. And it looks like they're concentrating a bit more on that cart, having 2 people on, and having the rest push up a little bit to keep eyes on. They have 5 minutes and they're nearly out of that rafter area. Once they're out of that rafter area, they have a lot more of a bigger chance. Once they make it to the end part of the actual goal, though, they're going to have to be really careful. They're going to have to be a lot more coordinated because, well, there's a lot of spots that the red team can attack them from. It's a really exposed area. Definitely the gauntlet of the map. Looks like Nugget is causing some really good havoc back in their spawn. While it does look a little bit sloppy, it definitely did rile them up a bit. It was a good move from Red Team to pull out a Disruptor. Definitely did get them to be a little bit more riled up, but they're still pushing. It's up to the team to decide whether or not a Disruptor's work is going to be effective or not. That's my opinion on it at least.
That's a win for Trouble.
Really interesting approach by Trouble in terms of defense. I would have been seeing a lot more emphasis on the attic area with the shots, but it looks like they're a bit more scattered on the lower ground. So at least 3 people near the payload in the immediate vicinity instead of above it, which is really interesting. This is a really sneaky spot to go firing away from when they're pushing the cart. This was a really good move by Sub, getting rid of 3 people in an instant.
4 people.
Well, 4, yeah.
Where's Captain Picker screaming his quadrant?
Alright, so TBT has 2 minutes and 50 left now, and they're honestly decently close. This is the part where TBT actually does have to end up going together, and they have to quit that trick away.
They're going to flick dashing. It's so quick.
I don't think they're still pushing it little by little regardless, and that's still effective. Looks like Mari's taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach. In the end, didn't really do much, but look at that, they're still pushing it a little bit. Honestly, there's definitely a bit of pressure on both of the teams. At this point, I would probably be like raving because figuring that we'd already won the match. But with how these teams look, anything can happen. They're pushing it pretty decently. I don't know if I'm just not observant or I haven't really noticed too much emphasis on any explosive play from the red team. And that does go quite a long way for the blue team because not having explosives covered on that cart will detriment you in the long run.
I heard Rocket now.
Rocket, there we go.
Find out who that is.
It's always near those tiny pillars where they always put more emphasis on those rockets because players can stand on top of them and it's an easy spot to go jumping off them when you're in the middle of baiting.
We found the rocket user, he just killed himself. Oh wait, he's
I love
going
if
back.
you're going on a tangent, on a subtle tangent, and then someone just kills himself with a rocket. But how it looks so far, with a minute and 15, TBT can make this.
Oh, Marisol almost had it.
Now they're having one person on the cart, having a rocket person in that one room. That's Mr. Stowe. Really good formation from the red team. Blue team has one more minute left. Looks like Mr. Stowe caught one of someone trying to get closer to him, and he just immediately dispatched that person. Really good work of awareness.
Really good rocket.
I'm surprised seeing this kind of play from Mr. Stowe. Would not even dream of him using rockets.
He's actually a very good rocket user.
Well, that's very interesting because, like, I suck at rockets.
Oh, that's a good shot.
Oh? Oh, man.
10, 9, 8.
Wow,
7,
really good rocket
6,
from whoever that was.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Red team
Wow.
wins.
See, that little attack could have spiraled into an actual team kill if it weren't for those rockets.
Yep. So Mr. Soap sitting with 8,738 points, 71 kills with 39. DBT, we've got Damager at 68 kills, 41 deaths, 7,502. Brent Bradley 90 with 53 kills and 63 deaths. Really good. I mean, that was...
Fantastic work from both teams.
Yeah.
It did kind of blow my expectations out of proportion a little bit.
Does it
Definitely
change
haven't
your predictions a little bit, Maggie?
Yeah, quite a bit. It's still more 50-50, because looking at how the KD was, neither was really outgunning the other.
Yeah.
Saw some really good demonstrations of really good coordination and teamwork.
Well, I think while the teams are going to run back to their strat book, what I'm going to do is make it up to the rest of the viewers. They probably didn't get to see that nice video we had, at least with the audio, so if you guys are happy with it, I'll set it all up and get it ready to play.
Cool.
Again, so far in the commentators booth, we have Dennis, Firehorse, and Laggy, myself. Just in case you forgot.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
Go.
The quality is a little bit low when we go full screen like that. I think that just comes down to the tool that we're using. It's the quite a few bugs, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. And what we'll do is just post that video on our YouTube channel for this full quality solution. Just appreciate it. That video was made thanks to our good friend Captain Kick-Ass. So know you're having some audio issues and you're around here somewhere, so when you do watch this, we appreciate the work that you're doing. So we have got Launchpad up next. The laggy view would be so high. That little green dot up there is the payload, and what we're going to do is we're going to move that across. If you could explain to the audience your expert opinion, what should we be looking at and how we should be doing?
Oh man. Well, with how Launchpad works as a map, it's a lot more different to Canyon, obviously, with how it's designed, because the first part of the map is a lot more tinier than the rest of it, obviously. Because after that first checkpoint, Launchpad is a pretty dang long map, and there are plenty of choke points that the team can take advantage of. It might seem really one-sided at one point, but again, it's up to the teams whether that's the case or not. Launchpad, in comparison to Quarry, is a lot more technical, in my opinion. Canyon, it feels a lot more aggressive because of the amount of choices that a single player can have with how much this place is designed. And Launchpad, it feels a lot more linear than Canyon, in my opinion. This certain spot that the payload's going through right now, it's just a singular long line going towards. And at the end of it, there's this part where someone can go sniping away at the rails, which is a really strong spot. And there are plenty of spots that both the red and blue team can take advantage of, and honestly, it can determine the entire course of the map. And what we want to see from the pushing team in particular is that they want to be really consistent on pushing that cart, because their performance on their first checkpoint will heavily reflect on how the rest of the game will go for them after they've passed that first checkpoint, considering if the red team will allow them to in the first place.
It's between the bridge and this first checkpoint where I think a lot of the rocket players really love, because you just sort of pop rockets in a few places and just you've got nice big areas that you can throw rockets around and they should have to.
Right, that spot in particular on Launchpad, I feel like that's the one that makes it more infamous in my opinion, because that spot is incredibly powerful. If red team is coordinative, if they're still communicating to each other, if they're talking to each other, keeping tabs on each other, right? That spot is nearly impenetrable, because if your team is communicating properly and keeping tabs on where everyone is on the blue team, that person who's sitting on that rocket perch will rarely die. which is why blue team is going to have to really step it up if they do have someone rocketeering up there, because that person, as soon as that rocket person dies, that is blue team's chance to turn the entire tide towards their favor. All right, now we're past that we're past that first checkpoint, and this is the part where performance previously will really start to weigh on. Because if it takes blue team pretty much forever to make it to that first checkpoint, you can't even dream of them hitting the goal.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of this part of Launchpad is really long. It's really big, and well, red team, they have a lot of spots that they can take. However, it is a bit more long and medium rangey more than it is aggressive, because during this spot where the dash is at, red team can assault them directly through that shotgun room, but blue team will definitely be keeping an eye on that spot. While going on the rail directly is also a pretty decent approach, it's going to be completely nullified if the blue team is perceptive. Alright, this part right here, there's going to be a bridge there. Red team can also take advantage of that, but also blue team can push up from that shotgun room and control that spot to their own as well. So yeah, this is the part where the card is approaching. This is where it gets a little bit more tighter, because this is where they're approaching that really strong choke point, that little tunnel. That is a really easy spot to lock down, because you can get assaulted from behind, from the front, and it's rocket players will be having a field day because there's easy dash, easy rockets, and maybe even near that garage door that they can be hiding behind as well. This is a really rough course for blue team, and it's up to them in that first checkpoint to lessen the impact. Alright, this is what I was talking about earlier. This choke point, it's really hard to push past depending on the red team and the blue team. There are tons of spots that the red team can take advantage of with that little tiny window-looking area. You can go sniping away from the triangle house even, and just absolutely destroy anyone that tries to move through there. Red team would want to take a little bit of a more back approach by heading towards that little sniper spawn and pushing through there, but that's going to be taking a little bit of coordination from the blue team. So yeah, Launchpad is honestly really brutal in comparison to Canyon in my opinion, because it's going to be taking a lot of coordination and planning from both of the teams. Let's see if my really stuttery and obviously expert opinion will be easily reflected upon this match.
Match starts in 3, 2, 1, go. First elimination.
Person, and it's really right at the gate.
Alright, decent start from TBT so far. Got rid of the double shocks. Might have killed him, but he's going to be right back on that card in a few seconds from now. Alright, there goes Bueller with double shocks.
Somebody on rockets quite good. It's normally a position I like to play. Setting up rockets. Start giving them a hard time right out of the gate.
Yeah, this entrance in particular is a lot more lighter in terms of defense. But there are moments where this place can be easily locked down, especially when they're going towards that downward looking slope. Because, yeah, rocket players have a freaking field day on this map. And yeah, there are several instances where red pushes up from behind through that stapler spawn room and takes out a few of their blue players. And then again, that's a little bit more of an impact on blue team. Because while they are getting taken out pretty consistently by red, it's up to blue on to whether or not that really did affect them at the end.
Oh, first take that so. And that was a really good one actually. Taken back by how quick that.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing so far, what I'm seeing is that these teams are getting into their own rhythm. And if one of their rhythms breaks, they're going to be doing their damnedest to try and get that back on track. See, they're getting rid of their rockets pretty well, but then again, they're coming back just as quickly as they got rid of them.
Yeah.
Alright, this is what I was talking about earlier. This spot is being locked down right now by the blue team. Not by the red team, my bad.
seems to be a bit of a competition between blue and red right now. They're exchanging corners. Oh, this is so period of parts.
As long as those rockets are up, they have really slim chances of pushing past that little slope. And either way, after that slope, it's going to be really rough from there too.
Yeah, they're going to struggle to make checkpoint from here. Coming to the corner 3 at 3:30.
Yep, here we go. This is the spot near the first checkpoint that I really hate personally. Because while there's rockets directly above the cart, if you hop on it, you don't expect yourself to live for probably 5 seconds at most. There's going to be a lot of dying in the process of push the cart past that checkpoint.
Yeah, rockets down, so blue team needs to take that opportunity to push, but there's no one on cart. Rockets now back up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just like tripping right now, but in the Dash League, Launchpad really did outnumber Canyon in terms of how many teams were stopped before checkpoint. That's a pretty big statement, but honestly, with how this map is designed, I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. Because with how Launchpad is as a map and its nature, it's really favoring on the red team in my opinion, to be honest. Because there's a lot of spots that they can take. There's that corner right there. 2 dots just took advantage of that, and there's also a really good rocket spot from above, and it's really far away. You'd have to push up really far to get rid of that rocket person. But then again, they have 2 minutes, and with that amount of time, a lot can happen. Look at that. The entire team is on that cart. Really hard push they have going right now.
Oh, it just cleared out too.
And yeah, with this unsettling expertise in it, Red just gets rid of them. That kind of coordination that I saw just now, getting everyone to group up like that, that's what I want to see from Blue Team. And obviously Red Team doesn't want to see that, so that's why they're, doing their best to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Reality Forge taking the shocks. Interesting.
Oh, I almost made it up.
Not true.
Alright, 1 minute and a half left. Looks like they're pushing a bit more towards those shocks as well.
Got one on there.
Yeah, taking explosives as a pushing team is a good idea because
Oh.
it's also going to rely on your team as well. Because when you want to hop on that, your team's going to be hopping on that cart, but so will the rest of Red. So taking advantage of that timing with the opportune moment of a single shock, it's going to change everything. Let's see if Blue Team will be able to demonstrate that.
Oh, we got Rembrandt on.
Yep, that's what I was talking about. There was that person hiding in the corner there. They dashed over towards that cart and fired away.
Here we go. Oh,
there it goes again. Red Team has a lot of good spots to choose from in terms of defense.
30 seconds.
It's as if Blue Team is fighting against the odds.
Oh.
Come on, guys. You can do it.
In these last 20 seconds, TBT really has to step it up and stop that trickling. Looks like they're being a little bit more coordinated now in this final push that they have. This is their last chance. Rembrandt be pushing up behind. See if he gets rid of those rockets if he sees them. Alright, looks like there's 2 of them up. Really low chances here.
Got the rocket
Yep.
down. Did we get it?
Wait.
No, that's it.
Oh,
Oh, that was so close.
very close. And either way, if Blue Team did push past that first checkpoint, I would not imagine them getting to that goal because it's a really long map with Launchpad here. Again, let's see if DBT will be able to make a little bit more of a reflection that they did in Canyon. Strike just as hard as they did. Really nice logo switch animation you got there.
In 3, 2, 1.
That's something that Dash League needs.
They have my number, like.
First elimination.
Wow, really nasty work with the explosives from both of the teams.
Yeah.
Looks like APAC's gonna be really notorious for the amount of monsters they have for those rockets and shocks. It's gonna give me nightmares, I swear. Again, decent pushing. Let's see if blue team is going to be a bit more conscious about that top area with the staple spawn, because red team is going to be using that a lot by all means. They kind of have to. See it? See it? Yep, that's someone sitting above there. Yeah, from the perspective of someone who's pushing up from that staple spawn, as soon as someone sees you or as soon as you get rid of somebody, you already know that you've been spotted, so you have no choice but to get aggressive. Oh man, he had to reload. Looks like Soap's pushing up a bit here. Never mind, I just saw his corpse. Looks like Nuggets there trying to lock down that shield area. Yeah, the shield room is a really powerful spot to be locked down because that's a place I can be potentially blocked off being rushed through. Red team's being really keen about this area. Yep, this is the spot. There have been times where I have played matches in scrims and I have seen where that spot in particular, that little turn, hasn't been moved, like, at all. I hate that spot.
I love that spot.
Either way, take it as advice. If you want to have a little laggy shaking, you just bring all the explosives you can.
You can dodge bullets, you can't really dodge the rocket explosion.
No kidding.
Do on now.
Alright, yep, there's that choke point. See if Bleaching can get right past it. With 3 minutes left, they are pushing pretty damn fast. Alright, but yep, there's that really brutal spot for the payload, because people can be hiding behind that corner right there, in that little camera over there. Yep, and he's aiming towards that top spot as well. There we go. Yeah, they definitely want people to be sitting on that cart now, that's for sure. Let's see it, let's see it. They have one on cart. That was a really good push just now from blue. That was definitely a hard blow that red just took. Oh, here it goes, here it goes.
Here it goes.
They're gonna make it. One melee. I'm seeing shock blast from the other side. There we go, there we go.
Blue team
That's it.
wins.
Good work, blue.
Two minutes.
I believe that's it. Trouble won last round and they've won this one. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Trouble's won it. Trouble's won the APAC Cup. So looking at the scores over there, Nuggets at the top, 43 kills, 29 deaths, the score of 4,612. TBT side of a person with 39 kills, 36 deaths, 4,110. Both teams did really, really well, but there can only be one.
Does this call for a control point?
No, it doesn't. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a small break, and then Rembrandt's going to be jumping on, and he's going to be issuing the prize gift.
Yep.
Alright then.
Come back. Winners, they've been the standout performer all season. They've been a solid team, difficult to come up against.
Honestly, yeah, this is the first time I've seen these teams going in action. This is practically my debut to watching these matches. And honestly, I just wish I was here earlier because these are really interesting.
So, just about everyone on both teams are in a dash team, some cross or acne or with blitz, and I think it's going to be a really good dash league season, and how everyone's
Of course, yeah, with over 30 teams now. Honestly, as someone who has played in season one, it's honestly mind-boggling seeing how much this thing has grown.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing.
And I'm sure from what I've seen tonight, definitely the league will be taking a similar reaction to mine myself.
make you a little bit scared about playing in the league.
Yeah, kinda. Like, honestly, I have this impression that like I'm just like a good player, to be honest. But dude, like they're scarier.
Now, are we going to be able to hear Rembrandt at some point?
He's going to be jumping in soon. And,
Right.
yeah, he should be jumping into the stream soon.
Hello? Can
Rembrandt.
stream can you hear me? Hang on, I just need to fix my speakers. It's coming through the wrong one. Hang on. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Can hear you now.
Cool, cool. All right, I'll just let the other guys know what's going on. Hang on. All right, guys, we're about to start the awards. When I read out an award, I'm probably gonna mute the crowd here, just because I'll be getting communications from the stream at the same time. So, but when I read out an award, do like a clap or something. We've got like a pre-recorded cheer going on, so if that can match up, that'd be terrific. Cool. All right. Can you hear me, stream?
Yeah, you're very soft there, Rembrandt.
How about now? Is that any better?
That's the video.
Okay, cool. I'll just speak up a bit now.
And this part where
Whoops.
you go. Right, I'll just let them know that I'm about to start. Okay, stream, final time, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you, Rembrandt.
Cool. Okay, what a fantastic final.
Quick final. Did you guys
a quick
scream
final.
through there?
Yeah, well, our goal was to actually make it a quick one the other way, finish them off quickly, but not to be. Massive congratulations there to Trouble. They did an outstanding job. So big congrats to them. Keep falling off the podium. Okay, so I'm just going to read out some awards for the season. Now these are based on stats we've been keeping for the season, and the same awards that we did last season. So it'd be interesting to see how people have moved, whether we still have the same MVD, Mr. Soap, who was absolutely outstanding today, a real massive pain to us in TVT. So I'll just read out the awards. So the first award is for the most improved beginner. So how this one is calculated, we look at how everyone rated themselves at the start of the season as either beginner, intermediate, or veteran, and then we look at their scores through the 6 matches or as many matches as they've made it, and then we sort of look at who's had the greatest percent increase in score and kill death ratios. We take them both into account. So the first award is the most improved beginner, and for season 2 we have Pixel Witch with a 98% improvement over the course of the season. So fantastic to Pixel Witch from Team Chaos. Awesome work there. Okay, now the second award for the most improved intermediate. So looking at that with a 25% improvement over the course of the season. And with us right now, Nugget from Team Trouble. Nugget. Okay, now the most improved veteran over the course of the season. This is an interesting one because I'm finding anyway as a veteran is these young bucks are starting to give me a really hard time. So it's hard to be improving. But the most improved veteran for APAC Season 2 with a 74% improvement across the season is from Team Chaos, Crash Zone. Okay, now moving into the some more of the individual awards. We've got the Maverick Award for the most interactions. So that's kills plus deaths. So basically this is someone who's in the thick of it. They are either killing or being killed, charging forward, head first. It's full on aggression. So we've got first, second, and third place for this. So in third place in season 2, we have with an average of 108 interactions per match. Per map. We've got Lord Grim from Team Whiskey. And second, with an average of 109 interactions per map from Team TBT, Person. Sweet Person. And the winner of the first place for the Maverick Award for most interactions, and it's the same person as last year, but he's bumped his interactions from 100 to 116. It's Universal from Team Chaos. And I think that's a pretty good indicator of the improvement over the seasons there. That 100 was first place last season, and now 116 is first place. And we've got 3 people well over 100 there already. So that's amazing. Okay, the next award is the No I in Team Award. So something like that. So the award for the No I in Team Award. Now this is someone whose score ratio is higher than the kill ratio. So it shows that they're prioritizing the team objectives over kills. So yes, these are people who are putting their body on the line for the team. So in third place, we have from TBT, Person. Congratulations. That's good. It's a good good result. In second place, and he was second last year. So he's got a good run at putting the team first. Is Shingeki and Team Whiskey. And the winner of the No I in Team Award for APAC Season 2 is also from Team Whiskey, Eagle Fang. Okay, now the next categories are for Most Valuable Dasher. So previously we did Most Improved across the season. This one is looking at people's performance and scoring and KD overall. So looking at the average KD scoring, and it creates a performance variable. So first we'll do the Most Valuable Dasher in the beginners bracket. In third place from Team Whiskey, we have Lord Foreign. Just work for Lord Foreign. He came in as a last-minute replacement, and he played very well. In second place for Team TBT, you have Reality Forge. Nice work, Reality. And first place for Team TBT, and it was very close between these two, but it's Justin. Congratulations, Justin. Okay, now the most improved, the most valuable dasher for intermediate level. We've got in third place from Team Chaos, Jedi. In second place, and this second and first place are actually both in this room. Second place from Team Trouble, Nugget. Congratulations, Nugget. And the most valuable dasher for intermediate class is from TBT, Hi Bilbo. Congratulations. And I'll just go over their scores too, which is it's a huge it's quite a big bump too from last year. So Jedi's performance factor was 1.02, Nugget was 1.04, and Hi Bilbo was 1.2. So they're really good results, especially coming as an intermediate. That's really good to see. Okay, the next award is for the highest KD overall, and it's definitely not me. In third place from Team Whiskey, Rapscallion with 1.44. In second place from Team Trouble, he had second place last year as well. Last season, with 1.58, Mr. Soap. Mr. Soap. And I think it's probably no surprise if Mr. Soap's not taking it out this one. Still the highest KD from last season we've got with 1.696, so very close between Soap and Grim. Lord Grim from Team Whiskey.
Knew it.
All right, now we move on to best score ratio. So this is an indicator of what percent of the total score in a map is scored by a player. So in third place, we have with 1.38 from Team Chaos, Universal. It's Uni. In second place from Team TRBL with 1.39, Mr. Soap. And the winner of the best score ratio for Season 2 APAC from Team Whiskey, Lord Grim. Okay, now we're going to do a countdown to... We're going to do a countdown of the top 10 dashes for the season. And this is taking all classes into account. And it's off a performance factor, so a combination of scores and KDs. So in 10th place, with a score of 1.059, I had to break it down to the third decimal place. From TBT, we've got Person. It's Person. It breaks into the top 10. Nicely done, mate. In 9th place, with a score of 1.061. From TBT, it's Rembrandt. Yeah, all right. Woo, that guy's awesome. That's the stuff. Okay, now in 8th place, the score of 1.11 from Team Chaos. It's Crash Zone. This one, Crash. In 7th place, and this is quite a feat. Considering it's in intermediate class, but with a score of 1.2 from TBT, Hi Bilbo, fantastic work, mate. Jumping straight from intermediate to the top 10. Nice work. Okay, now into 6th place, the score of 1.22 from TBT, Damage You. From Damage You. So he's bumped himself up from 8th through to 6th, so great effort there. Okay, now run out the top 5. In 5th, we have from Team Chaos with a score of 1.25, Axion. Nice one, X. Okay, into 4th with a score of 1.34 from Team Chaos, Universal. Uni. In third with a score of 1.37 from Team Whiskey, Rapscallion. One rap. Okay, now it's always going to be a battle between these two. Who is going to take out the top award? In second place with a score of, just looking at the right one. 1.48 from Team TRBL, Mr. Soap. That's Mr. Soap. And that leaves our new most valuable dasher for APAC Season 2 from Team Whiskey. Score of 1.54, Lord Grim.
He did it again.
Nice work, Grim.
The fireworks playing for it.
There we go. Awesome. So that wraps up Season 2. Thanks everyone for participating and streaming and casting and commentating and organising. It's been awesome. I think certainly the skill level's gone up a huge amount this season, and it's great that we've got two teams now in the Dash League. So it'll be interesting how we get on there with the extra ping, but I'm sure we'll cope. We've got some absolute stars showing up and slowly pushing me into retirement, which is good to see.
I feel you there, man.
What's that, sorry?
I feel you there, man.
Yeah. So yeah, just a big thanks to everyone. It's been a real group effort, and we'll look to sorting out a Season 3 at some point. Going to have a bit of a break Probably concentrate a little bit on the Dash League, but yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you, Rem.
All right, cheers.
Congratulations, TBT and Trouble. Well, if you watching on YouTube enjoyed that, why don't you consider joining us on our Discord? The link is in the description. And season 3 of our APAC League will commence probably after the Dash League. As Ren said, we can take a little bit of a break, but if you want to be a part of that fun, be a part of the action, go to our Discord and then sign up. We do take players of all skill levels, so don't think that just because you have a little bit of headsets on before, you don't know how to play. We mix and match the entire teams up so that it tries to even everybody out and everyone has a good time. Thank you, Laggy, and thank you, Firehorse, for joining me.
Thank you.
Of course, it's been an honor.
And I know Captain Kickass wanted to join us, and he had a couple of technical problems, and I kept on booting him, echoing. He wanted to come and scream nerds, so thanks Captain Kickass. And we will end the stream of that.
Thanks everyone. Sorry, I was still in the zone there, but yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone who's watching. Everyone who's competed and helped out, casting everything. It's been absolutely awesome. So brilliant.
Thank you, Bye bye.
All right.